guys, I am Michael John De Pedro from BSEE2B. So we'll be solving problem number 2.6 from the book of Mechanics of Materials 4th edition by Beer and Johnston. A cast iron tube is used to support a compressive load, knowing that E equals 69 GPa and that maximum allowable change in length is 0.025%. Determine A, the maximum normal stress in the tube, and B, the minimum wall thickness for a load of 7.2 kN if the outside diameter of the tube is 50 millimeters. First strategy will be that to find the maximum possible stress using the formula for linear stress strain curve. The corresponding thickness internal diameter can be computed by dividing the applied load by the stress thus obtained. So the second step will be is to indicate the given data. So outside diameter of tube, DO equals 2.0 inches. Internal diameter of tube, DI, is undetermined. Required thickness of pipe, T equals 1/2, open parenthesis, DO minus DI. And the applied load is P equals 1,600 lb. Modulus of elasticity, E equals 29 times 10 to the power of 6 psi. And percentage deformation is delta L over L times 100 equals 0.025. So step 3, part A, actual stress. Using the stress strain formula, sigma equals delta L over L. Sigma equals 10 times 10 to the power of 6 psi times 0.025 over 100. And sigma equals 2.50 times 10 to the power of 3 psi. So step 4, part B, required thickness. Required area of cross section, A equals P over sigma. A equals 1,600 lv over 2.50 times 10 to the power of 3 psi. A equals 0.64 inches squared. So step 5, required internal diameter from the above area. A equals pi over 4 times DO squared minus DI squared. DO squared minus DI squared equals 4A over pi. DI squared equals DO squared minus 4A over pi. And DI equals square root of DO squared minus 4A over pi. And DI equals square root of 2 to the 2 yawa unsa man ni 2. Step 5, required internal diameter from the above area. A equals pi over 4 times DO squared minus DI squared. DO squared minus DI squared equals 4A over pi. And DI squared equals DO squared minus 4A over pi. And DI equals square root of DO squared minus 4A over pi. DI is equals to square root of 2 times itself minus 4 times 0.64 over pi. And DI is equals to 1.78469 inches. Step 6, corresponding thickness of pipe. T equals 1/2 times DO minus DI. And T equals 1/2 times 2 minus 1.78469 is equals to T equals 0.107655 inches. And the result is, the answer to the A is sigma equals 2.5 times 10 to the power of 3 psi. And in the problem B is T equals 0.107655 inches.